Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to an absolutely huge video today, giving you guys my full college football bowl season picks and predictions. Score prediction on every single bowl game. This is going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it, starting with the first bowl. And it is Middle Tennessee State taking on Toledo out of the MAC. This is a noon start time on the 17th of December. Once again, the first bowl game. You guys look at the bottom, you can see the little sun. That's to symbolize it is a day game versus a little moon that I have at the bottom to symbolize night games. For this one, I'm expecting a big Toledo victory. You know, this Middle Tennessee State team feels disrespected. They felt like they should have gotten into a better bowl than this. They are 6-6, but Toledo, I mean, seriously, this is a good MAC school. I understand they're 7-5, but they can score. I love Toledo -9 in this one and the over to kick off our bowl season. Give me Toledo winning that one easily. We've got another game on the 17th. It's the Cure Bowl taking place in Orlando at 6 o'clock start time. How about Northern Illinois? I love that Northern Illinois logo. It's so sexy. They're taking on Coastal Carolina and Grayson McCall. And guys, give me Coastal Carolina. Northern Illinois, everyone's going to be picking them. Let's not overreact to it. This Coastal Carolina team, they're saying, listen, have people forgotten about us? We wanted to make a New Year's Six bowl. We're 10-2. We're disrespected. You're going to put us on the 17th, the second bowl game of the season? Really? That's disrespectful to Grayson McCall and this Coastal Carolina team. I've got them winning easily 38-28 over the MAC champions, Northern Illinois. Moving on to the 18th. How about an 11 a.m. game? The Boca Raton Bowl. It is Western Kentucky and that high-powered offense that sets records taking on Appalachian State. This is one of the games of the bowl season. It's so beautiful. And I do have to go against my team, Appalachian State, and pick Western Kentucky to win this one 37-27. I think Appalachian State is able to slow down that high-powered offense just a little bit, but not enough. You know, Appalachian State, they did let me down in their conference championship game, losing to Louisiana. That's disappointing. I didn't expect that. This is a weird 11 a.m. game, though. 11 a.m., expect clear skies, expect it to be sunny. Western Kentucky, Bailey Zappi. Dude's going to have like 60 touchdown passes, and I've got them winning that game. That same day in the afternoon at 2:15, it's the New Mexico Bowl taking place in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It'll be UTEP taking on Fresno State. Fresno State previously ranked inside the top 25 just a few weeks ago, and I've got Fresno State winning this game 30-14. Guys, this is a 2:15 game, low scoring. Both these teams, they like playing defense, especially Fresno State. Fresno State around 13-point favorites, heavily favored in this matchup with UTEP. But UTEP is coming into this game. They're feeling disrespected. They're saying, look, we don't want to play in the New Mexico Bowl. We should have gotten into a better bowl. It doesn't matter. They're in this one. And I've got Fresno State saying, listen, we were a top 25 team at one point. We've got a suffocating defense. Yeah, I love the under in this game, and I've got Fresno State winning 30-14. We've got an afternoon game on the 18th, the Independence Bowl, and it's UAB taking on a pissed-off BYU team. There were rumors of BYU potentially making the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Sign me up for that matchup. But they're like, oh, we got to do the Pac-12 versus the Big Ten, so they had to put Utah and Ohio State. I would have loved to see BYU versus Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. That would have been amazing. But they'll have to settle for beating up on a good UAB team. UAB, not bad. They're not bad. They had a nice season, but this BYU team, just outside of the New Year's Six, the 13th ranked team, the top 12 teams all go to a New Year's Six Bowl. BYU's ranked 13th. They get thrown into the Independence Bowl. That's a little disrespectful. I think BYU comes out and hammers UAB. We've got the Lending Tree Bowl. This game taking place at 5:45 Eastern Time, and it's going to be Eastern Michigan taking on Malik Willis and Liberty. Malik Willis, possibly a top pick in the draft. What is he going to do? I actually have Eastern Michigan out of the MAC. They're saying, look, we want to represent our conference well. You know, Malik Willis, the hype, it's overrated. Liberty, they haven't been as good as I thought they were going to be this year. I see a higher scoring game, and I like Eastern Michigan in kind of a mini shootout. They can score a lot of points. Liberty, not great on defense. Another game on the 18th, it is the LA Bowl. Look at that logo. That is a clean bowl logo. It is going to be Utah State taking on Oregon State. This is one of the best matchups of the bowl season, 7:30 prime time. and I have it as a shootout with Oregon State and B.J. Baylor, Chance Nolan winning this game over a very good Utah State team. I'm pretty surprised that Oregon State is 7-point favorites. We take a look at what Utah State and their offense did against that tough San Diego State defense in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. Nobody expected that. They took it to San Diego State in their home stadium. That wasn't even a neutral site game. This should be an absolute shootout. Night game, prime time. Give me Oregon State over Utah State. Great offense, great bowl game. You love seeing stuff like that. We've got a 9:15 night game. It is the New Orleans Bowl, and it's going to be Louisiana taking on the Herd, Marshall. I have Marshall winning this game 27-26. Folks, Louisiana cannot throw the ball. I'm sick of this team. I'm sick of hearing about it. I picked Appalachian State to beat them in their conference championship game. It didn't work out, but they still can't throw the ball. I'm done with it. They've got a lame duck coach who's leaving for Florida. Give me a Marshall team that's very motivated to play 27-26. Moving on to the 20th, we've got a game. Old Dominion. I love their logo. This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. 2:30, Old Dominion taking on Tulsa. And folks, I think Tulsa's just going to destroy Old Dominion, okay? This is a Tulsa team that almost beat Ohio State. They almost beat Cincinnati. And now you're going to disrespect them, putting them in the Myrtle Beach Bowl against Old Dominion. You got to feel for Old Dominion here. They don't deserve this. They're a sacrificial lamb. This Tulsa team is loaded, folks. They're loaded. I'm expecting a 50-burger in this one. Old Dominion's coming into this game. They're trying to prove themselves. It's tough. It's unfortunate. They're going to get crushed 52-17. 3:30 game. This is on the 21st. It is the Idaho Bowl. You love seeing that. And it's going to be Kent State taking on Wyoming and that vicious defense. Wyoming, one of the best defensive teams in college football. Give me Kent State, though. Disrespectful to make Kent State 3-point underdogs. Let's not overreact to Kent State's bad performance in the MAC championship game. It was an aberration. They've got the best offense in the MAC, facing off against one of the best defenses in the Mountain West in Wyoming. I respect this Wyoming football program. I've liked them all year. But guys, at the end of the day, give me Kent State in a mid-afternoon 3:30 game, which is really probably about 12:30 Idaho time, 29-20. Moving on to the 7:30 nightcap, it is going to be UTSA taking on San Diego State in the Tropical Smoothie Calf Bowl. That game's at 7:30, and that's a beautiful primetime matchup. UTSA with only one loss taking on San Diego State, coming off that tough loss in their conference championship game. I do have San Diego State winning a very close game. We know their punter, amazing, possible Heisman winner. I'm just joking, but seriously, they have a crazy good punter. 24-23 UTSA. They played really well against Western Kentucky, but they were outgained by a lot of yardage. Let's be real, folks. I'll take San Diego State needing a bounce-back performance. I will say, if UTSA wins this game, what are they, 12-1, 13-1? That's a phenomenal season. This is a really good matchup. I'm glad that they made this a bowl matchup. Surprised it's on the 21st, not like later. It should be a better bowl than this, but I will take San Diego State, 1-point win. Both of these teams really evenly matched. Really good bowl matchup. Moving on to the 22nd, it is the Armed Forces Bowl, and it's going to be Army taking on Missouri out of the SEC. That is a primetime 8 o'clock affair at night, and I do have Army winning this game 26-20. I was saying I love the under in this game. These are two run-first teams. Missouri, good team out of the SEC. I just feel like Army is more motivated, more ready to play in this game. They are taking on Navy this week. We'll have to see how they look, but I've been high on Army. I've also been high on Air Force, by the way. I like these naval teams. Give me Army in that one. Moving closer to Christmas now on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 3:30 afternoon game. It's going to be the University of North Texas taking on Miami of Ohio out of the MAC, and I decided to make this one a random shootout, kind of just randomly. Give me Miami of Ohio to win this game 48-38 over North Texas. North Texas, were they the team? Yeah, they beat UTSA. North Texas did. That's UTSA's only loss, and not only did North Texas beat them, they hammered them. This could be a nice high-scoring mid-afternoon game, but I will take Miami of Ohio 48-38 in a random shootout that nobody expects. Also on the 23rd, the nightcap, the Battle of Florida, OMG. UCF taking on Florida, 7 o'clock, Union Home Mortgage Bowl. I have UCF in the upset. We know Florida has major coaching turmoil right now. They're not going to, well, they're probably going to be a little bit motivated because it's UCF. Two teams in Florida. We know the whole thing with UCF a few years ago claiming the national title, claiming they are the best team in the state of Florida. It's unfortunate with what happened to their starting quarterback. If Dylan Gabriel was healthy this full year, I think UCF is a ranked team at least inside the top 20. They're a really good football team, even with their backup who's getting more and more acclimated to the team. UCF around 6-point underdogs in this. I think they'll cover that easily. This will be a field goal game. It's got a field goal game written all over it. Again, with Florida, this is a team you have to, even though they are facing UCF, it's a rivalry, you know, whatever, you want to beat a team that's in Florida, you have to kind of wonder what is their actual motivation level for a game like this. They're 6-6 and they're in a bowl game before Christmas. They did not expect that before the season started. Moving on, this is Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock night game, the Hawaii Bowl, and it is the University of Hawaii taking on Memphis. Hawaii with some nice home field advantage here, right? Nice little primetime matchup, but I do have Memphis winning this one 37-23. Memphis, kind of a forgotten about team in the American, higher scoring team. Calvin Austin III is one of the best receivers in college football. He was putting up crazy stats early in the season. I like Memphis to win this game. Again, Hawaii, it is unique to see Hawaii. They are 6-7, right? Maybe under 500, whatever. I like that teams like that make the bowls. It's fun to see, and they are at home, so we enjoy that, but I will take Memphis to win this game. We do have a nice little afternoon Christmas matchup. It is Georgia State taking on Ball State out of the MAC. Ball State was actually the MAC preseason favorite. That didn't work out very well for them. And guys, I'm getting an extremely low-scoring vibe to this one. These kids playing at 2:30 in the afternoon on Christmas, you know, maybe coming out a little foggy, whatever, maybe a little too much eggnog the night before, something like that. I'm just seeing a very low-scoring game, 13-10 type game. I'm picturing it. Georgia State and Ball State, both of these teams, phenomenal universities. We love seeing stuff like this. Christmas Day game, these kids probably happy for it. But again, maybe they come out a little foggy, you know, mid-afternoon game, right on Christmas. Everyone's going to be paying attention to the NFL games. I'm liking a lower scoring. I'm feeling the vibe right now. Nobody remembers this game, and then they look at the final score, and it's 13-10. It's just one of those feels. It's a feel. It's a feel, guys. It's low scoring, I'm telling you. Moving on to the 27th. This is an 11 a.m. game, the Quick Lane Bowl. So this game will be taking place at Ford Field in a dome, and Western Michigan gets a little bit of home field advantage there. This game taking place in Detroit, Michigan. They are taking on Nevada and Carson Strong, and I do have Nevada winning this game fairly easily. Kind of surprised they matched Nevada up with Western Michigan. Nevada kind of pulled, looks like a little short end of the straw with this one. This should not be a very competitive game. Nevada is a lot better than Western Michigan. They were kind of a fringe top 25 team there for a little while. Carson Strong's going to want to show out right before, you know, his last game before the NFL draft, get some offseason momentum going into the combine. He's probably going to be a first-round pick, so I've got him probably throwing for 4 touchdowns in the dome. No weather to deal with. And Nevada easily covering the 6-point spread. The 2:30 game, the Military Bowl. It's going to be Boston College taking on a upstart East Carolina team out of the American. And I do think the ACC is going to get a big win here, 24-6. The ACC and Boston College is going to say, listen, we're tired of getting bullied. We're done with it. They get a nice win here. Lower scoring game. East Carolina, they've had a nice season. You know, they were a laughingstock in the American for a few years there. They've come back this year. They've had a nice year. I think they won 7 games, but I've got them losing to Boston College here, 24-16 in a lower scoring mid-afternoon game. Moving on to the 28th, it is the Birmingham Bowl, and it's going to be Houston taking on Auburn. Houston only with 2 losses on the year coming out of the American, taking on the SEC 6-6 Auburn Tigers. And I do have Houston winning this game 31-27. I'm thinking kind of a surprisingly higher scoring game. There are question marks surrounding Bo Nix. There's actually some questions. Is he going to transfer out of Auburn for his last year of eligibility? We'll have to see on that. We'll have to see if he plays in this game. And then Houston, a team, they got crushed. Let's be real. They got crushed in the American Championship by Cincinnati. You're on the road. It's a tough spot, although I really wasn't impressed with Houston's offense, especially their quarterback. I think they bounce back a little bit here and get the win 31-27. This is another game. Like, what's the motivation level for Auburn in this game, right? It's one of those games where Houston's going to be so much more motivated to face an SEC team and finish the year 12-2 than Auburn, who's 6-6 going into this game. A noon start time. Yeah, so I like Houston with the upset for that one. The 3:15 game is the First Responder Bowl, and it's going to be Air Force taking on Louisville. Louisville around 1-point favorites in this mid-afternoon game. I do have Air Force winning it 30-23. I love Air Force. This is another motivation type thing. Air Force has had such a good season. They're 9-3 right now. They want to get to double-digit wins. I think they do just that. They beat Louisville. Louisville, love the quarterback, Malik Cunningham. He's so entertaining to watch. He should have some great plays, but I'll take Air Force, the more motivated team coming into this game. Louisville, I think, is around 6-6, maybe 7-5, one of those two records. So I'll take Air Force. Oh yeah, I think they are 6-6 because it was 9-3 versus 6-6. I'll take Air Force to win this mid-afternoon game. The 6:45 game is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and it is the air raid offense of Mississippi State taking on Texas Tech. And folks, I've got a random shootout with Texas Tech winning 36-33. No, Texas Tech has not shown much on offense. You know, how would they score 36 points? I think they're going to want to entice Quinn Ewers, the transfer. They're going to go out there, show some air raid, throw the ball around a little bit. Quinn Ewers, the 5-star superstar quarterback who's considering to transferring to either Texas Tech, Texas, or Texas A&M. They're going to sling the rock around a little bit, and then we all know Mississippi State is a team that loves to throw. They have the air raid offense. Mississippi State around 9-point favorites, but I don't think they're that great. I think Texas Tech could easily beat them. This could be a very nice shootout for an early evening game. The 8 o'clock matchup is the Holiday Bowl. It is UCLA taking on NC State. This game being played in San Diego, I believe. And I do have NC State winning 35-31. NC State, listen, this NC State program, they were expecting to be in a New Year's Six Bowl. They were like, we're ready to go to the Peach Bowl. We've booked our tickets. And once again, they get disrespected by the committee. It's unfortunate. What are you going to do? They want to prove themselves against UCLA. UCLA's offense has been amazing recently against Pac-12 competition. They've scored like 40 points in 3 of their last 4 games in conference play. This is a higher scoring game. The Holiday Bowl, I may not be putting this might be like 42-41, folks. This game's going to go crazy. High scoring, prime time, Holiday Bowl. It's always high scoring in the Holiday Bowl. Gimme NC State to prove once again that they are one of the top teams in the ACC. They're the forgotten good team of the ACC, NC State is. They're really forgotten. It's unfortunate. In the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, this is a night game, and I think it's actually a 10:15 start. Maybe it'll start at 10:16, I don't know, but no, that was a misprint. It is 10:15. It's going to be West Virginia taking on Minnesota, and they trolled us with this matchup, man. These two teams are both terrible on offense. I do have Minnesota winning it 24-17. Somehow Minnesota generates points. I don't know how. West Virginia also terrible on offense, although West Virginia, I mean, they might have the better quarterback. Tanner Morgan has experience, I guess. But give me Minnesota. This is when the Big Ten says, look, we're the daddy, we're the king. We're going to get this win some way, somehow. PJ Fleck, who signed that big extension, maybe there's some more energy into that Minnesota program. They're motivated to finish off the 2021 season on the right foot, going into the offseason, get some nice momentum for 2022. They're going to win this game and send Tanner Morgan out on a good note, 24-17. Moving on to the 29th, we've got a nice early morning 11 a.m. game at Fenway Park. It's going to be SMU and their high-powered offense taking on Brennan Armstrong and Virginia's high-powered offense. This has shootout written all over it. 48-38, I have Virginia winning this game. SMU 1.5-point favorites. According to Vegas, I think Virginia wins this game outright. Really disappointed this is an 11 a.m. game. I like that it's at Fenway Park. I love that. But, like, why is it 11 a.m.? Like, these are two high-scoring teams. Put them on at night. We need this game at night, but it's 11 a.m. It is what it is. 48-38, I'll take Virginia. Virginia, they've lost 3 straight games. They're 6-6. They know they're better than that. They're a better team than that. They're going to beat SMU. SMU has a good offense, but a really bad defense. Brennan Armstrong throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. You heard it here first, folks. Moving on to the Pinstripe Bowl. Unfortunately, I normally love the Pinstripe Bowl. This seems like a dud. So this is played at Yankee Stadium, 2:15. We know how New York is, though. It gets dark at like 3 o'clock in New York this time of year. It's going to be Maryland taking on Virginia Tech. That's the ACC Big Ten matchup. And I have Maryland, once again, the Big Ten flexing their muscles, getting a win. You know, Maryland's quarterback, Tua's brother, he's had a nice year. He really has had a decent year. Started off really well, had that terrible game against Iowa. Ohio State, it's tough, but then after that played a little bit better. I guess against Michigan, he wasn't good either, but he can sling the rock around a little bit. Virginia Tech, not a lot of offense on that team for Virginia Tech. Either way, this is going to be a closer game. I think Maryland can pull it out. We'll have to see. This is a big game for bragging rights between these two conferences because these two teams are very comparable. I would say Virginia Tech had a little bit more success in the ACC than Maryland did in the Big Ten, but these two teams are very comparable. It'll be interesting to see which one of these teams is better. Moving on to the Cheez-It Bowl, it's going to be Clemson playing in the Cheez-It Bowl, taking on Iowa State. This is not a good draw for Clemson. Iowa State's a decent team. This is 5:45, so basically right at dinner time. I do have Iowa State winning a lower scoring game, 23-21. Pretty much any game Clemson's involved in is going to be low scoring. They have a bad offense and a really good defense. That creates low scoring games. Iowa State has a decent defense and a decent offense, but Brock Purdy's been really disappointing throwing the ball. They do have a good run game, Iowa State does, but once again, lower scoring game, gimme Iowa State. Kind of a disappointing year. They ended off on the right note. Clemson losing their defensive coordinator, Brett Venables. He's going to be the head coach at Oklahoma. I think Iowa State gets the job done and gets this win. The 9:15 game, the Alamo Bowl. Oh, this is awesome. I can't believe they did this. It's going to be Oregon and Oklahoma. Who knows? Who knows with these two teams both transitioning, both head coaches are leaving. Brett Venables is going to be the head coach at Oklahoma. We know that for next year. This is a 9:15 game. I love the under in it, and I do have Oklahoma just based off of like past precedent. The fact that Oklahoma, I guess, has had a little bit more national success than Oregon has recently. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Both these coaches, this game, the only thing I can say about this game, the over-under right now is 61.5. It might have changed, but the last time I saw it, it was 61.5. I love the under. Like, is Caleb Williams going to be there? Oklahoma has everyone transferring out. An Anthony Brown-led offense. Are they really going to score that much? This game, it's hilarious that they did this game. It really is. And I would not recommend betting one way or the other. You know, maybe we'll see if Oklahoma, with Brett Venables getting hired, does that energize their program? Maybe they start trending. They're around 4-point favorites right now. But this is one of those games, it's like, I mean, due to like the coaching situations, it's tough to really go in on either of them. Moving on to the 30th, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I love that they did this. It's the greatest rivalry in sports. North Carolina taking on South Carolina, and ladies and gentlemen, I've got North Carolina winning this game 34-24. Sam Howell is going to be motivated in this one. He knows he needs a good performance before the offseason going into the combine. He wants to be a top pick in the NFL draft. He's been waiting for a game like this. North Carolina, they've had a bad year, but Mac Brown is still recruiting very well. He knows how important a win over South Carolina would be for recruiting momentum going into the offseason and going into National Signing Day. South Carolina, they've had a decent year, but folks, they're running into a buzzsaw, and when you run into a buzzsaw, you're going to get cut. Give me North Carolina 34-24. That's an 11 a.m. That's a nice little morning game. I like that. I like that a lot. It is Tennessee taking on Purdue. This is the good old SEC Big Ten game. Music City Bowl. That's in Tennessee. Wow, that's Tennessee home field advantage. You'd think I'd pick Tennessee, right? Absolutely not. Give me Purdue 41-33. This Purdue team and this offense is pissed off. They thought they should have been in a better bowl. They're facing Tennessee. And guys, I saw the original line of this game was Purdue -3. It's already switched to Tennessee -2.5. That's hilarious. That's how Vegas makes money, folks. Purdue's going to win this game outright. Why are people going in on Tennessee? I have no clue. Purdue's offense is crazy. David Bell. Oh my goodness. I like Tennessee. The thing is, I like Tennessee. People are making me hate on Tennessee. They've got a great offense. It's going to be a great game. They do have home field advantage. They do have home field advantage, but give me Purdue in this one. They sling the rock all over the field. 41-33, higher scoring game, mid-afternoon game. That's going to be a fun one to watch. The 7 o'clock game, so this is the first New Year's 6 game. It is going to be Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett taking on Michigan State, and I have been on Pitt for the longest time, but folks, this is where the Big Ten puts their foot down and says, listen, we're the best conference in college football. Mel Tucker coming off signing that massive extension. He's going to be pissed. He's going to be ready. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. I love the over 62 in this game, and I think Pitt is around 4-point favorites. It's a toss-up. It's close. Kenny Pickett against that Michigan State secondary. Ouch, right? That's going to be about 500 yards. It's going to be a fun one. But I do have Michigan State maybe getting a little bit more healthier with those wide receivers coming back. They're going to have a month off to prepare for this game, winning this one 48-45. Kenneth Walker, I'm guessing he's going to play. I don't know where he's being mocked currently in NFL drafts, but I think he's going to play. High scoring, really fun kickoff to the New Year's Six games. And then we've got the nightcap, the Las Vegas Bowl. This is supposed to be the 30th. I forgot to change it, but it is the nightcap on New Year's Eve. Wisconsin out of the Big Ten taking on Arizona State. And to me, it's a bit of a mismatch. I do have Wisconsin winning this game easily, 35-24. They have a bad taste in their mouth coming off that rivalry game in Minnesota where they were 7-point favorites. You win the game, you go to the Big Ten title. They lose inexplicably to that Minnesota team with no offense. They're pissed off right now. They're going to have some great bowl practices. They're going to come out and beat Arizona State easily. Arizona State, a little bit of a home field advantage considering this game is in Vegas, West Coast. But again, give me Wisconsin to win this one 35-24. I think they cover the 7 points pretty easily. Moving on to New Year's Eve. Oh, New Year's Eve is the 31st. Okay, so moving on to New Year's Eve, this is another 11 a.m. game, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. It's going to be Wake Forest taking on Texas A&M, ACC versus SEC, and I do have Texas A&M winning this game 24-20. The start of this game, the fact that this game starts at 11 a.m. is beautiful for Texas A&M. It's an early morning game. Texas A&M wants lower scoring. They thrive. They're a good defensive team. Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, coming off that disappointing performance in the ACC championship game. They ended up getting crushed. They were only around 3-point underdogs. Sam Hartman turned the ball over a few times, and now you got to take on a tough defense. And to me, Jimbo Fisher knows with his recruiting, with the way it's going, you know, they've lost 4 games now. You got to beat Wake Forest. You really do. You're an SEC team. You're facing, you know, a good ACC team, but a very beatable team. And this is an 11 a.m. start time. It plays right into the hand of that very elite Texas A&M defense. Give me the under in this game, by the way. 11 a.m. start time on New Year's Eve. We've got a noon start time. It is Tony the Tiger, the Sun Bowl, and it's going to be Washington State taking on Miami. This is going to be a high-scoring shootout, folks. Give me Miami. They've got some energy within that program with the new hiring of Mario Cristobal. 41-38 over a Washington State team that can really throw the ball around the field. But guys, Tyler Van Dyke and that Miami offense, they've been impressive recently, especially in the second half of the year. I have Miami winning this game 41-38. Love the over in this one. Love the over. The 2 o'clock game is going to be Central Michigan. This is the Arizona Bowl. Central Michigan taking on Boise State. This is disrespectful to Boise State, folks. Boise State around 10.5-point favorites in this one. I said in my best bets video this game had 34-7 written all over it. Of course, I'm going to predict that. 34-7. Boise State, really good football team. Kind of had a disappointing end of the year, but still, you're going to put them up against a mediocre Max Central Michigan team. We don't want to disrespect Central Michigan, but folks, let's be real. This is going to be a blowout, 34-7. The 3:30 game, so this is the first playoff game. It is going to be the University of Cincinnati, the number 4 overall seed, taking on the number 1 overall seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide. It is a 3:30 game. This game will be taking place in Jerry World, the Cotton Bowl. And I do have Alabama winning 41-34. I really wanted to pick Cincinnati. I just can't do it. The only thing I would bet here, I do like Cincy to cover the 13.5, but what I really do feel comfortable, I like the over in this game, the over 58. I think they'll cover the 13.5. Alabama, you know, kind of a streaky team. They really did a good job of protecting Bryce Young against Georgia. That's kind of the key to why he was able to do what he was able to do for over 400 yards and, what was it, 4 passing touchdowns. Jamison Williams, probably the best receiver in college football right now. Definitely one of the fastest going up against Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati, a team, it's just tough because their best win is Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a good team, but again, it's like we have not seen Cincinnati really tested coming out of the American Conference, so it's tough to gauge how they would stack up against a team like Alabama. Once again, I mean, look at how Alabama played against Auburn. If Alabama plays like like how they did against Auburn, Cincinnati could very easily win the game. The problem is this is the playoffs now. Nick Saban's going to have his team ready. I've got Bama winning this game like the over, 41-34. That is the first game. And then the second game, the Capital One Orange Bowl, it's going to be Georgia taking on Michigan. Georgia sitting at around 7.5-point favorites. And I do have the University of Georgia winning 31-20 over Michigan. Very similar teams. It's going to be very tough for Michigan to move the ball. They love running. Cade McNamara, Stetson Bennett. Cade McNamara and Stetson Bennett are very similar quarterbacks. Will JT Daniels play? I don't know. But the problem I have, how is Michigan going to move the ball against that Georgia defense? The Georgia defense, they did struggle against Alabama. We can ponder, we can wonder why that is. Was it because they already knew they were making the playoffs? Was it because people within the SEC said, listen, guys, you need to lose. We want 2 SEC teams in the playoff. Let's be real, that could have happened. I mean, seriously, how does Auburn get 7 sacks against that Alabama offensive line, then that Georgia defense gets 0? It just doesn't make any sense to me, but overall, very similar teams, lower scoring game. The over-under is only like 44 in this, and then I do have Georgia covering the spread. It's just, Georgia simply has too many athletes. Michigan, I've said from day one, this is a no-nonsense football team. They're not going to beat themselves. The problem is Georgia's more talented. Georgia's just more talented. Neutral site, dome game. We'll see who Georgia goes with at quarterback. I'm guessing they're still going to stick with Stetson Bennett, but if I'm Kirby Smart, I would just go to JT Daniels. I trust the defense so much to shut down Michigan. Let JT Daniels get into a flow, get into a rhythm, and I think Georgia beats Michigan, unfortunately. I would like to see a Big Ten team in the playoff or in the championship, considering the championship game is in Indianapolis, but honestly, Ryan Day ruined that. Let's be real, Ryan Day ruined it. Moving on to New Year's Day in the first game, a noon start time. It's the Outback Bowl. It's Penn State taking on Arkansas, the traditional Big Ten versus SEC. I love me some Penn State in this matchup. Lower scoring, 27-21. When it comes to Penn State, we'll have to see Sean Clifford. How healthy is he? He's had a month to heal up. He did look pretty good throwing the ball in a snowstorm in East Lansing. They ended up losing that game, but I thought he played well. They also have Jahan Dotson. Hopefully he'll play in that game. He's possibly a first-round pick. I wonder if he'll sit out. And then for Arkansas, to be honest with you, the only reason they're ranked is because they're an SEC team. I'm just not seeing many quality wins for Arkansas. Like KJ Jefferson, he's a cool player. Definitely a good, a very fun college quarterback to watch. Cam Newton-like with his big body, his ability to run. But I think Penn State is just the better overall program. They are 3-point favorites in this game. I think they cover that. The 1 o'clock game, it's the Citrus Bowl. It's another Big Ten versus SEC. The University of Iowa coming off that disappointing loss to Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, taking on Kentucky. And again, with Iowa, I say this every time I talk about Iowa, where are the points coming from? Where are the points coming from? It's like they need a pick six. They need a scoop and score. They need something because they just cannot sustain long drives. They score 3 points against Michigan. If you don't turn the ball over against Iowa and you're a good team, which Kentucky, they are a decent team, you're going to win the football game. I like the under in this game. And if Kentucky does not turn the football over, it's going to be very hard for Iowa to generate points. They cannot generate yards. I mean, they average under 300 yards a game. That is very bad for a Power 5 team. Give me Kentucky to win this one, 24-17, lower scoring game. We've got another New Year's Six game. It's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. It is Oklahoma State taking on Notre Dame, and it's Marcus Freeman's debut, and it is a great matchup for Notre Dame. Oklahoma State does not have a good offense at all. I think Notre Dame wins this game handily, goes into the offseason with a lot of momentum under their new coach. 31-16 should be a seamless transition. When you hire from within, it normally is a seamless transition. Oklahoma State losing to Baylor and their backup quarterback, not able to generate much. Their quarterback throwing like 3 interceptions or maybe 4 interceptions, not looking good. Give me Notre Dame, a lot more hype within that program. They get the win 31-16. The Rose Bowl game from Pasadena. It is going to be Utah taking on Ohio State. This is the 5 o'clock afternoon game. Should be very sunny for this one. Get a nice sunset, and I do have Ohio State winning. Kind of a weird score, 43-31. Ohio State, you have to wonder with the motivation factor. We know with Chris Olave going to the NFL draft, will he play? I'm guessing since it's the Rose Bowl, he probably will play. Will Garrett Wilson play with him going to the draft? I'm guessing he's going to play as well. This is just speculation that I've heard these guys are probably going to play, but again, they very easily could sit out. Ohio State does have, very good receivers behind him, just not a lot of experience, just Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then it would be someone like Julian Fleming or maybe Emeka Egbuka. Overall, with this game, great season for Utah. Utah definitely seems more motivated. They're coming into this game with their hair on fire. Ohio State around 7-point favorites. Surprised by that personally. When I saw this matchup, I saw that it was going to be this matchup. I thought it was going to be Ohio State -10, honestly. But overall, Ryan Day needs this game. He needs to inject some life into this program. This is a New Year's Six Bowl. You can say you're Rose Bowl champions. Coming off that Michigan loss, it was embarrassing. You got to get this win. Ryan Day knows it. I think everyone will play for Ohio State, and they'll get a win. Kind of a weirder, high-scoring shootout type game. The Rose Bowl could use one of those. The Rose Bowl really could use one of those. And then the nightcap, it is the All-State Sugar Bowl. It's going to be Baylor University, the Big 12 champions, taking on Ole Miss. And I do have Ole Miss kind of in a good old-fashioned SEC blowout win over Baylor, 38-14. Baylor, to me, I think they're frauds. I don't know how they're going to generate yardage. They do have a solid defense, but this could be one of those games where Lane Kiffin kind of draws some things up. He's got a month to prepare for it. Matt Corral going into the draft process, he's going to be motivated to have a good game. Again, this is a good Baylor defense, so if Matt Corral plays good, people are going to note that. This is it's a big-time New Year's Six game. Ole Miss is going to be motivated for this one, and it just seems like a mismatch to me. Athletically, overall, scheme-wise, it seems like a mismatch. Give me Ole Miss 38-14. We've got a random game on January 4th. This is hilarious. It's the Texas Bowl, and it's LSU versus Kansas State. And I do have Kansas State winning 23-16. The motivation factor. I mean, this game is 4 days after New Year's. There's no other bowl games. It's just, this is a weird time for this game, and it's a 9 o'clock start. I love the under in this game because I don't see the motivation. I don't see the energy that this game, everyone's going to be moving off of college football. You only have the national championship left after this. It's just weird. It's a weird game. I love the under. I love low energy in this. There's going to be a lot of low energy. LSU, where's the motivation from them? I mean, good Lord, you're facing Kansas State, 4 days after New Year's when everyone else has already played. It's almost like the hangover game is what it is, to be honest with you. But give me Kansas State 23-16, and then this would be the national championship. And folks, this is a horror show. This is a complete horror show. The national championship this year is in Indianapolis, meaning, it's in Big Ten country. If you've got Georgia and Alabama, we can thank Ryan Day for this. We can thank Ryan Day and Matt Barnes for this beautiful matchup. Oh, my goodness. Give me Georgia, 34-24. I think they get it done. I don't know. So the whole thing with Georgia is really interesting. How, Georgia, nobody questions them. They're the clear #1 overall team. Then they get crushed by Bama. Then everyone says, hey, wait a minute. Look at their schedule. It's not good. Yeah, Georgia really didn't beat anyone. But I still think they have a dominant defense. Alabama was definitely more motivated to play in the SEC championship game. Georgia knew they were getting into the playoff no matter what. Alabama knew they had to win to get in. If they lost, they probably still would have gotten in if they would have lost a close game, but that's just the SEC, whatever. Either way, guys, I have Georgia winning the national title. I would love if Cincinnati somehow upsetted Alabama. I would love to predict it, but it's just, I don't see it happening. I don't know, man. It's tough. It is what it is. But, guys, that is going to do it for my official bowl predictions. Every single bowl game, I believe I covered. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.